So I finally played VHS, and I was one of the people from the outside looking in, because I didn't get a key until yesterday. I was one of the people who was very hesitant, but very hopeful about the game as well, feeling like we needed something refreshing in the asymmetrical genre, which Dead by Daylight has basically dominated for a very long time. But I finally played the game, so is the game overhyped, or is it really as good as everyone says? Well, it's pretty damn fun, dude. So I wanted to do this from a new player perspective. Of course, I have a lot of experience playing Dead by Daylight for 5 years, so I'm not new to the asymmetrical genre, but this game is very different from Dead by Daylight. But regardless, I wanted to go in fresh. I didn't watch any streams, I didn't watch any content creators, anything like that, any YouTube videos. I had fresh eyes. So for my team game, you're going to see me get completely destroyed, but I did spectate the rest of that game. For my monster game, I was a little bit more adept because I am a killer main on Dead by Daylight. There are a few things I want to go over in this just for people who are excited for the game, who haven't got a beta key yet, or I guess who probably won't get a closed beta key because I don't know if everyone's getting one. But first things first is the main menu itself. There is a lot here, to the point where it was actually, even for me, a gamer of 20 years and a Dead by Daylight gamer of 5 years, it was very overwhelming at first. There is a ton here, from videotapes to your actual loadout where you customize your characters, to your perk system and where you actually apply the perks, you know, your different mutations. There is a lot here, and maybe there's a tutorial that unpacks that, because I didn't go too far into the tutorials, but there are tutorials, which is another bonus. I'll mention that real quick. There are tutorials for Survivor, or for Team, sorry, and for Monster, and there's even training for both. So maybe there's a tutorial there for the menu, but either way, it is very overwhelming at, you know, front view. But after you actually get past the point of it being overwhelming, it's actually nice and refreshing, because there is so much to do even on the main menu, and it's not just going from your blood web to your loadout to picking which skin you want to wear. Like, even if it was just that, you know, messing with your perks and stuff, it still feels like there's more, because it's structured so well. And I think there is more here than Dead by Daylight, but it's just structured so well. The UI is so clean for it. Like, it just all looks so good. So main menu, all the customization there, big plus for me. But now let's crack into the monster gameplay itself. I did play a match as Wart as my very first game. Baby started crying, so we had to kind of pause in the middle of that. But you're seeing my second monster game ever as Dollmaster, which I ended up winning. Now this is going to be a very weird statement, but it's true, and if you play VHS, you might know what I mean. The controls are clunky, yet smooth. It's so weird. I know it doesn't make a ton of sense, but there are some aspects of the controls and how you move your character where it feels like, hey, that's smooth. And then there's other aspects where it's like clunky, and then somehow, some way, for some things, it's like mixed in together. It's weird. The controls, it's not a huge downfall, but it does feel clunky in some aspects. One thing I will say when it comes to the game so far is the teams are very hard to track, especially after you get a hit. Once you get a hit and your camera goes up in the air, like for me, you might see it in the gameplay a little bit. Once that happened, it was back to square one. Like, I had no idea where they went, aside from hearing footsteps. But that's kind of on me because I wasn't wearing headphones, so I couldn't even track those well enough. But there wasn't a lot of visually helping things to actually track teams here, and they're even hard to find in some aspects. It might just me being new, as when I played team, the monster seemed to track me pretty well. He always caught up, and he got me. I got out of the game pretty damn quick, so that might just be me as a new player. Keep that in mind. The monsters, the two that I have played, I do have to admit, I haven't played the werewolf yet, but from what I've played of Wart and the Dollmaster already, the monsters are very varied. They're tremendously fun. It's actually really fun to play this game as monster. It's very refreshing. It's very fun. I really enjoy the monster gameplay. And along with that, something that really helps is the map design. I actually really like the two different maps I got to play on. I played on the same map both times as the monster, but I did play on a different map as the teen, and I think it all blends in and fits with the overall aesthetic of the game really, really well. The one thing I will say, I had hardly any bugs while I was playing. You know, I only played like 3 matches so far, but I did experience one at the end of my very first match where, like, I got stuck on an end screen, like where it was returning me to the menu. I got stuck there for a few minutes. Nothing big. It's really a non-problem, a non-issue. And the second non-issue bug was just showing different statistics in the main menu, which it's a closed beta. That crap's gonna happen, but it's better to point it out in a video like this. But overall, I really enjoy the monster gameplay. The Dollmaster, he's a really fun monster to play as. It kind of feels like you're playing a Trapper mixed with Twins mixed with Chucky. What I imagine Chucky would be in Dead by Daylight. And as well, like at the beginning of the game, they have a mechanic mechanic that I hope they use for a monster in the future that Dead by Daylight still has not done in 5 years, and that is an imposter sort of monster, where you're pretending to be a team, but you're the werewolf, literally, in some senses. I do like that imposter feeling there. So overall, Monster gets a big thumbs up from a killer main of Dead by Daylight who's been looking for something new and refreshing and non-stressful, because it's brutal on both sides. I will say that it's very brutal on both sides. If the teens get a really good start going, it can be very brutal as a monster, and if the monster gets a good start going and you have a slow start as the teens, it can be very brutal over there. So it feels very balanced so far. It's tons of fun. Not really stressful. That could change. Not stressful at all, I would say, but that could change in the future, of course, as we put hundreds upon hundreds of hours into the game. But overall, Monster was a lot of fun. But let's talk about teens now. Like I said, the teens are absolutely brutal. If you get a slow start as a teen, or if you're like me and you're like a chicken with your head cut off playing as anything to do with a survivor role in any asymmetrical game until you're about 300 hours in, it's gonna be rough on you. And I think that's by design, and I actually really like that. I like that the teens don't feel like they have the advantage. They have the advantage if they're all four working together and doing what they're supposed to be, which is good, and that's how it should be. But if they're uncoordinated, whatever, you don't see what you see in Dead by Daylight, where you got 4 different people playing entirely different games and still doing extremely well and winning. If you're not all on the same page in VHS, it feels like you're going to get pummeled very easily by a decent monster, which I really love. And something else on that, another problem I really have with Dead by Daylight is its skill checks. I can sit there and read my chat and hear a skill check, still respond to someone, finish responding to someone, and still manage to hit the skill check in most cases. VHS is not like that. It doesn't seem like. I only had a few skill checks pop up, but I missed like both of them because like I was looking away. I wasn't paying attention because I'm like, oh boy, I'm fixing a generator on VHS now. I can just hit my skill checks as I go. No, that was not how it happened. That skill check was there and gone in like less than a second, and the monster knew exactly where I was. I really enjoy that. No more is the reading chat while doing skill checks. It requires your attention at all times, and I really like that because it's engaging. And also, fighting the monster is refreshing. I know me personally, and a lot of other people, their main complaint with Survivor is it's a lot of fun to run the killer, and it's just not fun doing anything else to deal with Survivor, like holding mouse 1 on gens, holding mouse 1 on totems, you know, whatever else you're doing, holding mouse 1 on the doors to open them. So it's very refreshing to have an objective be you have to hold E to craft a weapon with very tight timing, very engaging skill checks, but once you craft that weapon, your main goal of the game is to kill the monster, to fight the monster. So that's very refreshing. I enjoy that. I enjoy the different objective. I think it's new and it's different, and the word is just really refreshing. I love it. And there was a mechanic that's still a little confusing to me. This was the only thing that I watched a quick video for to kind of understand how it works. But the Book of the Dead, it's very interesting just in thought, because it's like you can completely resurrect a survivor, or a teen, sorry. So it seems like your spectral form, when you actually completely die, can find the Book of the Dead and lead your teammates to it so they can unlock it and then come and actually resurrect you. I don't know if that works for like 4 times for each teen life. I'm not sure about that, but it's very interesting. It was very confusing when I tried to do it in game. I hope there's a tutorial for that. Again, I didn't play through this teen tutorial, so there could be, maybe, but I hope they point that out a little bit more, like other than find the Book of the Dead to resurrect your teammate or to resurrect yourself in the game itself. Like maybe a little description box under the lettering. Just because, you know, not everybody's going to play the tutorial, and that would be a nice little piece of information for those stubborn people who aren't going to play the tutorial, so they know that they can still be useful even when dead. So overall, I do have worries with the game still, with it being free to play. I really wish, devs, if you're listening, man, when your game goes live, early access, just charge $20 for it so you have that foundation to continue development without having to worry about relying on skins or whatever. Yes, there's going to be a ton of cash cows out there who just purchase so many damn skins, but you know, it's going to be more profit and more going into development if there's actually a paywall there. And I want to see this game succeed. I want to see it live. I want to see it reach the heights that people are saying it will reach, and I would feel safest like that. But I know a lot of people are happy that it's free to play. You don't have to sink another $20 into a game that might possibly die off in the future, but honestly, I don't see that in VHS's future. I think it's an incredible game. I think VHS is a lot of fun. I think I'm going to be playing it a ton. We're going to be playing it on stream later today before the Game Awards. Really enjoyed the few matches that I played, and I cannot wait already to jump back in. It's refreshing. It's fun. I like the idea behind it. I like the aesthetic, the graphics, the graphical options menus. You have a ton of options there. So overall, I'm very impressed with the game. I was very hesitant, but those hesitations have really been put aside, and I just cannot wait to see what comes next for the game. And this is not me shilling out. This is me genuinely having fun with this game, which is something I haven't been able to say for Dead by Daylight in a hot minute, and something I haven't really been able to say for any other asymmetrical game I've played besides Friday the 13th. So it's a big win in my book. Can't wait to see what they do next. I can't wait to see what the future holds for this game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you played it? Have you not? Do you have a key? Let me know. Let me know your opinions on the game so far. Let's chat about it. Let's have a talk. But that is going to do it for me, dudes. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. My name is Tugin. I've been your host, and I'll see you dudes in the videotape. Peace out.